Good morning, family. This is Ken with Wisdom is Currency coming to you guys on day 6 of Walking in the Journey. I pray that you guys are having an awesome day so far. It's about 7:30 in the morning here, and just wanted to spend some time with you guys real quickly. As I promised, I'm going to try my best to do at least kind of like a daily vlog to let you guys know the journey of where this thing is going and how it's been going. And if you guys are unfamiliar with the platform at all, and this is your first time seeing even one of these videos, let me introduce myself. My name is Ken, and I am a mentor, and I am an entrepreneur, and I also am a minister. And God gave me a vision about several years ago about how to achieve wealth through scriptures, and He gave me some specific instructions. And for a couple of years, I did everything other than what He told me not to do, what He told me to do, and did not get any results. Finally, gave up, gave in, and He showed me some secrets that ultimately changed my life. And now I'm at a position where I want to help other people do the same. Right. So this platform, if you're stumbled across it, I'm not going to mince words. The purpose of this platform is to equip you and give you the resources, not only spiritually but also naturally, to achieve wealth as described in the scriptures. And I like to make that differential statement because the world looks at wealth one way, the believer looks at the wealth a different way, right? And for us here with our Wisdom is Currency family, we define wealth as balance between God, health, finances, time, freedom, and relationships. Okay, again, I'll say that again. We define wealth as balance between God, finances, health, time, freedom, and relationships, right? Some people look at wealth as just an accumulation of natural resources. They look at it as just accumulation of money. But how many know, man, if you could have all the money in the world, but if your health is failing you, what's the point of that? Right? You can have all the money in the world, but if your children hate you and you're never there for them and their lives are a wreck because you don't have enough time freedom to be able to balance it, what's the point of that, right? So what God wants us to do, man, is really live a full life on this side of heaven. And I believe the principles that we're going to be sharing over the next year or two, or however long He wants us to do it, are really going to help you guys get some major breakthroughs in your life. Again, I've seen it in my own life, things that I have been trying to work towards for a long time and trying to do it in my own way with my own understanding and running into every block possible. And then finally, when I yielded and position myself to hear God, hear His way, hear His statutes, hear His instructions, at that point, everything began to change. Because there are things, principles that He put in place for us as believers to receive those manifestations, but we got to work it the way that God gave it to us, right? So, what I encourage you to do, there's two things. If this is your first time looking at a video, go back to day 1, 2, and 3. All of them are on YouTube. They're on also my Facebook page, both the Wisdom is Currency and even my personal page, where I really kind of go down and explain a little bit more about the journey and what we're going to be doing. And then if you haven't already subscribed, I do strongly encourage, man, go on to YouTube, subscribe to the Wisdom is Currency channel, hit the little notification bell there so that way you'll get the notifications when we upload new content, right? We are going to be doing a series, which is really the core of the ministry, if you will. And it's called Creating a Circle of Blessing in Your Life, right? Where I'm actually gonna break down and show you guys specifically what is the currency of heaven, how to tap into the currency of heaven, how to convert that currency into dollars, right? And then in addition to the spiritual concepts, precepts that we're going to be talking about, we're also going to be discussing a lot of natural and practical things that you should be doing. So we're going to be looking at government contracting. We're going to be looking at Airbnbs and real estate, and we're going to talk about those practical things. But we have to first understand, or at the same time understand, the spirit behind it and the mechanisms of the spirit to get the mechanisms of the manifestation, right? Hopefully I'm not saying too much, right? But in any case, listen, with that being said, guys, I want to jump right into today. Again, this is day 6 of Walking in the Journey. And, I'm excited, man, because today's the 28th, right? That means we have, three more days, including today, left in this year. And normally during this time of the year, this is where we'll normally start to see people, make their public decrees that 2023 is going to be my year. year, and I'm going to manifest, and I'm going to have my house, and everything, the desire that I didn't get in 2022, I'm coming for it in 2023. And I know a lot of people, they have some negative comments when they see stuff like that. Oh, here they go again. I love to see it. I love to see when people are making that public decree, because that shows me that they're exercising their faith, right? They're exercising their faith. And one of the components of exercising our faith is actually speaking and decreeing a thing, right? But let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Some people have been speaking and decreeing a thing for years and have not seen the manifestation, right? And I want to take a portion of this video to talk about why you may not have received the manifestation before, but we're also going to discuss why you will receive the manifestation this year, right? And so let's kind of jump right in there, right? So, in our faith, there's three stages of our faith, right? In the road to manifestation. We have the thinking phase, then we have the believing phase, then we have the knowing phase, right? Thinking, we believing, then knowing. There are actually three specifically different phases in the process of our faith to come to a point of manifestation, right? So the thinking phase, of course, is just as it sounds. That's when you get a thought, right? Everything starts with a thought, right? A seed planted in your imagination, something that when you receive a thought, then that thought then goes into your subconscious, and then it also taps into your imagination, where then you begin to see a vision in your head, in your imagination, right? But it all starts with a thought, right? If I tell you I want you right now to imagine a pink elephant wearing a pair of Jordans, right? Because I said that and introduced that thought into your mind, that actually produces a picture in your head, right? So awesome how God made us that way, right? So you have the thinking phase. And so in your, let's say, for instance, let's make this thing practical. Let's say that your desire for 2023 is to purchase a home. That has been your heart desire, to purchase a home for you and your children and your family, right? That thing started with a thought, right? But that thought, that coming into your mind and even producing a picture and a vision, that is still the thinking phase of your faith, right? Remember, there's two more phases, right? And so I think a lot of times what happens is people actually get a thought in their head, and as soon as they get the thought, they begin to speak that thought, right? And because, we've been taught that, you name it, you claim it, right? You speak a thing and you decree a thing, and that's true. But I think we're kind of missing part of the step here, right? Because what happens is the Bible tells us that we believe and therefore we speak, right? We believe and therefore we speak, right? So we're not supposed to start speaking and decreeing these things until we actually believe it. And just because they have a thought, that doesn't necessarily mean that you believe it. Now, how do you move, Ken? I know you're asking, Ken, how do you move from thinking a thing to believing a thing? You move from thinking a thing to believing a thing once that thing that you were thinking is somehow confirmed, right? I'll say that again. You move from thinking a thing to believing a thing once that thing that you were thinking has been confirmed, right? Now, as the believer, we look for confirmation through God, and God has many ways of confirming a thing, right? He could speak that thing to you through the Holy Spirit, right? He could have someone come to you and give you a prophetic word. Listen, sis, I don't know. God told me to tell you that this is your house, right? Now that thing that you were thinking now has been confirmed, right? But then I don't want to put God in a box, man. I've had God confirm some things some crazy ways, but I knew it was him. I had sometimes, man, there's some things I was thinking and even uttering into myself, and then all of a sudden I look at a movie and everything that I was thinking, someone in the movie would say exactly what I was thinking almost verbatim, right? And then you would get that confirmation, that check mark in your spirit, like, okay, what I was thinking was not just a thought. And now you have moved from a place of thinking a thing to believing, right? But again, in order to move from the thinking phase to believing, there has to be some type of confirmation, either internally, externally, but there has to be some type of confirmation, okay? Again, I don't have time to really, really dig into this. We will do a full teaching. I think we can do a whole teaching on think, believing, and knowing, which we are going to do. We have to do it, I think. But right now, let's just kind of pause right there, and then we'll pick back on that, right? But again, you have the thinking phase, we have the believing phase, and then finally, there is something called the knowing, right? Now, the knowing is the process within our faith where now we not only thought a thing, and now we not only believe a thing to the point where now we're ready to believe and decree it, right? Which is important. Now we move into a place of knowing where we have systematically removed all doubt. right? Right? So this whole process in our faith is a process of really removing doubt. Once we remove all doubt, then there's nothing left but truth, right? That's the secret to our faith. Right? Now, here's where our faith is so important, right? Because as believers, when we walk in faith, we believe a thing is so, even though we do not have any proof that it is so, right? We believe that something is so, not based off what we physically see with our eyes, not based off what we can feel with our hands. We believe that it is so because our faith says it is so, right? Now, when you know a thing, right, when you come to that place of knowing, where now it's not just, it wasn't just a thought, it wasn't just something I believe. Now I've removed all doubt because what I believe is so strong that now I'm going to behave as though it is already so, right? Right? Let that sink in, right? Knowing is behaving as though it is already so, right? And so that is the process, the progress of our faith. You thought a thing, it came in as an idea, concept, which produced a vision in your head. Then that thing was confirmed. And then now, here is where your faith gets feet. Right? Here's where your faith gets feet. Because now when you shift into a place of knowing, you behave as so. So let's go back to our example. You're believing, you're introduced with a thought, you know what? My desire is to have a house. Right? That was a thought. That was a vision. You saw yourself in it. And then somewhere, somehow, that thing was confirmed, either internally, externally, through God, prophetically, however God decided to do it, to the point where it confirmed what you thought, and now you believe it. Right? And so now that you believe it, now we need to move you to a place going into 2003 where you don't just believe it, now we know it. Now, since we know it, and we actually act as if. So you believed, you thought you were going to get a house. It was confirmed that you were going to get a house. Now we begin to act as though I am getting the house. Now, what does that mean, right? Now you begin to shift your behaviors into the behaviors of someone who is getting a house in 2023. What does that mean? Let's look at the practical stuff, right? We can't say I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, and we haven't went and got a bank account. Right? I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, and we haven't really looked at our budget to figure out how much we can actually afford, right? I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to get a house, but we haven't actually picked up the phone and set up the appointment with the mortgage broker or with the real estate agent to go and start taking a look. I'm gonna tell you guys a story at some point, man. I can't share it all, but I'm gonna tell you guys a story that is gonna blow some of you guys' mind. God gave my wife and I a miracle home, right? We didn't have any money, we didn't have any credit, but we had faith, and we did some crazy looking stuff, right? Because we knew it, right? And we walked that thing out, and He gave it to us. Again, I can't get into that story, but the point I'm making here is that where I think a lot of people miss it is they think a thing, they believe a thing, they decree a thing, but then the behavior hasn't changed to a place of knowing. Their behavior hasn't changed to a place of acting as if, right? And that is where we get the manifestation. That is actually where the thing that we were thinking, the thing that we were believing moves from a place of external to exterior, because now we begin to walk in that thing, right? That is our faith is one of the most miraculous things ever, because it actually will cause you to do some things that doesn't even make sense, because you know it to be so, because your faith says that it is so. Man, faith-led living is so fun, right? I'm going to tell you, I don't know who said that believers live a boring life. That ain't true at all. When you really understand this thing and how it works, and you understand the process of manifestation and manifesting things in your life, living life actually becomes fun as a believer, right? But we got to understand those mechanics, right? We have to get to a place where we're not just thinking a thing, and then we start speaking a thing. And we're not just believing a thing, but not putting any action to the thing that we're believing in. And it's keeping us stuck in that place of believing and never in the place of knowing and manifesting, right? So this year is going to be your year, right? I'm going to tell you why it's going to be your year, because you're going to do a couple of things, right? I'm trying to keep this short. First thing you're going to do is whatever you're believing for, right? The first step of putting it into action is you have to make sure you start writing that thing down. Whatever it is, you got to write it down, right? Write it down, write the vision, make it plain. Whatever that thing is you're believing for in 2023, do not let 2023 hit here without you writing it down. Now, I'm going to share something with you. This is a red flag, right? If you are finding trouble, you're finding yourself having trouble writing down that thing that you're believing in, there's a problem, right? Go back and make sure that before you're trying to get into the knowing phase, make sure that you're in the believing phase. Make sure that whatever you're believing for is confirmed. And to do that is as simple as asking God, listen, this is my heart's desire. This is where I want to go, right? I believe that you're with me, and I believe that you're going to walk with me. Confirm this word. God will figure out how to confirm that word to you. Right? He'll figure out how to do that. Make sure it's confirmed. Now, once it's confirmed, again, now make sure first step is that you write it down, because I'm going to tell you, again, this is a red flag. If you are having trouble writing down the vision, you're going to have even more trouble trying to do the behaviors that it takes to bring that manifestation forward, right? So writing something down is part of the manifestation. It really is, because now you're taking something that was just existing here, and even just putting it on paper brings it from here into manifestation. You understand? That opens up the door to the manifestation. So write it down. That's the first thing you need to do. Second thing you need to do, the Bible tells us to write the vision, make it plain. It also tells us to count the cost, right? In other words, when you have a vision, we need to understand what it's going to take to achieve that vision. Now, I know some of this stuff is new to you in terms of what you're trying to go for, so you may not know everything that it takes in order to do it. What you need to do then is you need to put yourself in a position where you're around people that do know, right? Understanding and counting the cost is knowing what it's going to take in order to achieve that manifestation, right? That's the second thing you need to do. Third thing you need to do is you need to then allocate time towards the actionable steps of the thing that you're believing for, right? Allocating time towards the actionable steps of the things you're believing for. We get 24 hours in a day, guys, 24 hours, right? And so I think it was, the gentleman, Microsoft, his name will come to me in a second. But I think it was him who said it, that we overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5, right? Because when you're able to take time and allocate time into the actionable steps of the thing that you want to achieve and break it down systematically, you'll realize that it doesn't take quite as much time as you think, right? And with that being said, I do want to give you guys one little gem here real quick, right? I'm not sponsored by this company or anything like that. I don't get a commission from offering this book. This is just good, right? And I want to share it with you. One of the things you guys want to do is, I think this book, 12-Week Year, is a powerful, powerful book, especially for now. You want to get this book. There is an audio version on YouTube, right? Where you can actually listen to it. It's completely free, right? I recommend you listen to the audio version so you can tap into it now. Again, it's the 12-Week Year, Brian Moran, Michael Lennington. I also recommend that you get the book. They also offer other supporting things like a journal and things like that would help you. But this is good because this is what this does. We always look at a year. We define a year as 365 days, 12 months, 52 weeks. That's how we define a year, right? And so often what we do is when we make our plans and our actionable steps, we look at doing those things over a 12-month period, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But this book helps us redefine a year. Instead of looking at it as 12 months, we define our year as 12 weeks. I define my year as 12 weeks, right? And so when you do that, now it's easier to take those actionable steps and plan what you're going to do and how you're going to allocate your time over a 12-week period versus trying to do that over a 12-month period, right? I don't have time, again, to get into all the details about this book, but I'm telling you, this here is a gem. Go get it. Get into the audio book, plug into this thing, at least on the audio version, before the end of the year. And I think the principles that are shown here will really change your life. All right. But we want to begin to take our actionable steps, and we also want to be able to allocate proper amount of time so that now we can actually begin to live out the steps that it takes to bring the manifestation. Right now, I know what you guys are thinking, man. Now, listen. I've had it happen in my life, man. And, God can do something immediately. He can do something overnight, right? He can, he can drop that idea that I'm going to give you a house, confirm it the same day, and then supernaturally provide that house the same day. He can do that. Yes, he can, right? As a matter of fact, I think I told you, I'm going to share a story of how God gave us a miracle house. Now, it didn't happen overnight, but it happened quickly, right? And but even though he can do it overnight, God wants us to understand the mechanisms of our faith. And when you understand the mechanisms of your faith and how to truly work your faith, then at that point, God can position you where now you can live as he intended for us to move, hear his voice, and get manifestation in our life in many different areas, right? And so, the old saying, you can give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, or you can teach a man a fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. Well, I believe that the principles that he wants to show us in terms of how to work our faith, he wants us to live that faith-filled life. He wants to teach us how to actually live this faith thing out, right? But again, our faith has three specific different phases, and the phases are designed to systematically eliminate doubt. Once you eliminate all doubt, that obviously moves you to the knowing phase. Once you're in the knowing phase, that's where you get the manifestation. But the first phase is thinking. That comes with a thought. That comes with a thought, an idea. That thought idea produces a picture or an image in your mind or a vision. And then that thought then needs to be confirmed, which shifts you from thinking to believing a thing. Then once you believe that thing, since it's been confirmed, now you begin to decree a thing, right? Because you think, we believe, and therefore we speak. Then after you go from thinking to believing, now we begin to shift ourselves into knowing, where we believe that thing so strongly that we act as if, right? We move according to our faith, not according to sight. We act as if. Our behavior then becomes, we are doing what we are believing for, right? Not we are waiting for it to appear and then we move into it. No, we are doing it now. We're doing those actionable steps now because we believe so strongly in what we believe for that we don't have any doubt that we're going to move into it now, right? We're going to shift to a place of not just believing a thing, but knowing a thing. And knowing a thing is where we're actually going to get the manifestation. That is why 2013 is going to be your year, right? So you may have thought it, right? I'm coming now. I'm confirming it, right? I just confirmed what you were what you were thinking. We just shift from thinking a thing to believing a thing, right? Now, since we believe it now, right? Let's make this thing real practical. What I want you to do, take a moment and decree that thing, right? Decree it out loud. Decree it out loud. Whatever it is you're believing for, whatever was just confirmed, I want you to decree it out loud, right? Say it now. Decree it out loud. Now, I want you to start the process of knowing. The first step you're going to have to do is take whatever you were believing, write it down, right? Write it down. That actually starts the manifestation, because now you've taken what you've thought, what you've believed, and you've pulled it from here to an external place. Writing it down starts the manifestation. And then I want you to ask God for revelation of the actionable steps that you need to take in order to do that thing that you're believing for, right? Write those down. Then allocate the time towards those things and do it immediately, right? Because you know it is so, right? And then you're going to start to see the manifestation of that thing that you were believing for. All right. So again, We're going to do a complete teaching on Think, Believe, Know. I think it's something so fundamental to our faith, but I think we're just not taught. I mean, that's just as simple as it is. But we're going to do that, right? For now, I'm going to put pause on this video. This is day 6 of walking in the journey. My name is Ken. And listen, man, I'm excited. I know every time I talk to you, I always say I'm excited. It's because I generally am. I have a desire to be able to help people. I do, and even when I was young, I always knew God was going to bless me with a lot of money. But I never really been money hungry. I never really been money motivated. That's just not me, right? But I knew, and don't get me wrong, I like clothes and good meals and all that stuff too. But money itself just never motivated me. And so I knew for me, in order to have a lot, it would definitely require me finding something that I love, and that in the process, I would have to be able to help a lot of people. And so I think this is my opportunity to really be able to pour into you guys. And I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I just made enough mistakes and learned from enough mistakes and acquired enough information that I think I can share some things with you that will help you, right? So Wisdom is Currency is the platform. And guys, make sure you plug in. Go to YouTube. Go to the Facebook, which is Wisdom is Currency as well. You want to tap into that also. And we're getting ready to launch a series, creating a cycle of blessing in your life, a perpetual cycle of blessing in your life. You guys want to get into that thing, man. That we're going to launch that within the next week or two. If you are on the platforms, we'll make sure we send you the appropriate links and all that different stuff, right? And in the meantime, listen, I do have my instruction, but I'm also open. If there's something specific that you guys want me to talk about or teach about, put it in the comments, and I promise you I'll read them, and we'll talk. But there's an old African proverb. It says, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. And our faith is a walk, right? It's a journey. And when we can go together, right, what you're trying to achieve and what you believe in God for may be completely different than what I believe in God for. Completely different, right? But if we're all walking in faith, and we're all supporting each other and all building each other up, and that faith gets that momentum, man, I'm telling you, if you want to go far, go fast. But if you want to go, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I want to go with you guys, right? It's not enough for me to just have and get. I want to help my people win, right? And so that's it, man. Listen, you guys be blessed. Remember, again, wisdom is currency. And make sure you subscribe and stay tuned, guys. I can't wait to connect, man. Let's go get this thing. All right. I love you guys. Take care. And we'll definitely be connecting soon. And stay tuned for tomorrow for day 7, God willing. Let's see what he has to share then. All right. You guys take care. Go back, look at 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 whenever you get a chance, right? Because there's a lot of information shared in there that kind of puts everything in perspective, but I've been purposely taking my time to kind of document this thing and lay the groundwork before it takes off. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Take care for now. And again, I love you, man. Keep walking.
The moment I realized wisdom is a currency, everything began to change.